Hello and welcome to Up on the Roof. I have Raph here with me today from Market Advisory Group. Hi Raph, how's it going?
It's going really well, Ria. Good to see you again.
Yeah, I know it's been a few years, but it's great to see you. What have you been up to all this time?
It's been a long 12 years we've been in this industry. Lots changed, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2018, I went out and started as an independent carbon market consultant, and the business has grown over the last 4 years to now where we have 21 permanent staff and 4 consultant contractors. Other business partners came into the business very soon after it started, and we just continue to grow. So subject matter expert business. We're now advising major corporates on their carbon strategies and implementation. We've built a business which started out as a understanding supply, understanding demand, and putting forward price curves out into the market to give people some idea of what carbon might do over a decade. That then led to corporate strategies and government and working on a company's 10 or longer term strategy. We've been working with the likes of Shell and Woodside, BHP, across the demand side of the carbon market, but also with each project developer to help them to create a business that was a good counterparty and investable and had good governance and frameworks. It's been a wild journey.
Yeah, it has. It's almost like the solar coaster. You know, we're going to need a carbon coaster, right?
Yeah.
How are you? Are you happy about Saturday's results? Finally.
It's really good. A result, I think, for carbon markets in particular. I think for those who rode the solar coaster or the renewable energy coaster will remember how hard it was when there was no policy certainty, and then when there was policy certainty in 2014, when we had an agreed tripartisan RET percentage, how the industry just went boom. Yeah. I feel we're getting close to that. We've been in a world of argument about it. However, I'd say the 2050 carbon neutral point when the coalition said that was quite good. It was a moment where everyone went, well, that we're going to do that. I think most people had an idea that that's someone else's problem though. 2050 so far away, it's not going to be our problem.
Down the road a bit longer.
It's a huge task, carbon neutral by 2050. You and I know, and people who are watching this, if you're involved in the can we be 100% renewables by 2030, well, the debate around whether we could and how much it would cost and can we even build a grid by then, those kind of real details, they were a 10-year plan. This is a huge decarbonisation requirement. So what I think happened on the weekend was, I'll say it from a markets perspective, because you and I, that's the language we speak.
Yeah.
All the shorts went out of the market. There's been people speculating on price falls and policy changes in the negative now for a good year or so. That's gone. Yeah. Any market risk now is on the upside, and if you're not long or you're not getting, you've got some time. It's not like you have to get long today, but but really the weight that was lifted off most people's shoulders was the potential for negative policy change. Yeah. I don't think we're going to, and that's sort of oversupply, under demand, price pressure downwards. I think that's gone now. Yeah.
And so, what do you think this does set us up from the framework perspective? Is it looking like we're going to get some good policies out there, and some, is it going to affect the safeguard mechanism now? Do you think it's going to be more substantial? You think they're going to sharpen their swords a little bit on it?
Yeah. Look, I think going back to history again for your viewers and you, best I can just point to the RET, a coalition policy in 2001 that the Labor Party then went and changed because it was the easiest way. And then with some political momentum, got a carbon pricing mechanism up, but that all of a sudden got shot. And that was part of remember the clean energy package, not just the carbon pricing mechanism. So all those policies got shot. And I think what Labor's proven it can do before and will do again is take a coalition policy and increase ambition. So I think that's what it'll do. I don't think we'll see a carbon pricing mechanism. Don't quote me, don't attack me. I just don't think we'll see one in the next decade. I think we'll see the safeguard mechanism morph into a cap and trade. which is different because it's specific sectors, specific facilities, cap and trade, as opposed to economy wide. I think that's where it goes.
And does that allow for international linkage as well, right? The cap and trade?
It does, yeah. And I think there's a couple of really interesting market things that have occurred just in the last 6 months that actually do allow for that even more so. We probably need to talk about this undersupply in the market, the real shortage of units, illiquidity. We've been in an illiquid state for 3 or 4 years where there's just been no volume. If you wanted to buy 1 million units of Australian carbon credit units, you just couldn't. There just weren't that many around. And they were sitting in people's hedge accounts, and just
or contracted to the government even.
So, or contract to the government, exactly. So we saw that those contracts were potentially breakable, and we started reporting this about a year ago that there was potentially some supply there if people were willing to take a risk that the government might sue them. They were able to get that volume out, and that's what happened. What we saw occur that's not what happened actually. The regulators saw this coming. Everyone sort of saw that there was this potential, legally onerous process, and so they facilitated that. Now it's had massive market influence that they've facilitated the CAC transition. So all those CAC carbon abatement contracts, volume is now able to get out of the delivery. They've become effectively
and come to the secondary market, right?
Yeah, they have to pay a fee though. So it's a penalty, or it's not a penalty, it's a fee. There's tax issues, that means that there's now a floor in the market, that a lot of supply. It's a really interesting market to try to pick apart. Massive oversupply above $25, not a lot below that, and most people have to pay a fee. I won't go into the details, but they wouldn't sell below $25. It's not profitable to break that contract and sell into the market. So, but that being said, liquidity is just huge now above a certain price, above that floor, which allows governments to implement policies that will increase demand without the inevitable attack that carbon prices are going to go to infinity, and you're going to destroy an economy because you don't have enough supply. We do have enough supply now. We had a price signal, we've got price signals, there's more supply going to come with certainty, but we've got enough supply that they can make quick 2030 timeframe changes and policies, including international linkages. I'd be really surprised if we don't link to obviously the South Pacific, New Zealand in particular, say Japan and South Korea before the end of the decade. I think that just makes sense to have a Pacific hub. Yeah,
I agree. Well, that's fantastic. And so any exciting jobs that you can share with us, or where can everybody get some more information about Market Advisory Group?
Yeah, good to share a couple of things. That we work with people across the journey, from education, Carbon Markets 101, through the detailed carbon strategies. And what we've been doing recently with a lot of our clients is helping them to implement projects on the ground. Telstra just announced a project at Yarrawick up in New England area around Armidale. We originated that property. We found it. We did the feasibility study, and we're now implementing it with the team that's planting the trees and managing the property. So we can do that end to end. Anywhere on that journey you want to come in, offset procurement, long-term contracting, all the way to actually just getting your own project and planting a tree. Just go to the website, marketadvisory.com.au, and you'll be able to link to us. You'll find us there.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks so much, Raph. It's so good to see you again, and we'll catch up soon.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Bye.